Hello and welcome back to Life by Design, where I share practical tips to empower and uplift sensitives, empaths, and intuitives. Today I want to talk to you about the importance of spontaneity. Now, as empaths, we can really get into our routines, right? There's a safety in that consistency, that predictability from day to day, week to week. But what I want to invite you to do is to start opening up to what might be in those in-between places, because sometimes we say no to being spontaneous because it doesn't quite fit in our plan. And sometimes when those unexpected things arrive in our lives, we're actually meant to expand and be receptive to those invitations versus sticking to the narrow plan that we create for ourselves from day to day. If you think about it, if you look back over the course of your life, there are probably some extraordinary things that you have done that weren't planned. And when I look at my life, I can totally see that many of the really fortuitous, positive, magical things that have occurred in my life have been because I said yes to something that was last minute. I said yes to something that was a nudge that didn't have any proof behind it. I said yes to a possibility that could lead to something bigger. And, if I were to have known the plan in advance and perhaps what it would have required of me, then maybe I wouldn't have said yes to it, right? So what I encourage you to do to break you out of that limited routine or that just humdrum routine that you may find yourself in is to be open to bigger possibilities for yourself, and to also be open to the fact that they may show up in your life in a different form than you imagined. And that doesn't mean that it's not the right thing. So if I were to think of some of the amazing things that have happened to me, or even for my children, it started with something that seemed so insignificant, perhaps even last minute, even inconvenient. And had I said no simply because it was taking me outside of my daily routine, then I would have missed out on the amazingness that was on the other side of that opportunity. So I would encourage you moving forward in the coming weeks to start becoming open to taking action on things that are outside of your normal wheelhouse, because that is where the big stuff happens. That's where the magic happens. So stay open to the good what ifs, right? Stay open to those possibilities of things really happening even more perfectly than you could have ever imagined on your own, and that those things don't necessarily happen within our weekly plans, right? It's not necessarily something on our calendar, and yet it is something important, life-changing. It leads you down a path in your life, even if it's just a few steps, but those are steps that are orchestrated on your behalf. And so this is also an invitation for us to trust in what we don't see, to trust in the guidance that we're receiving. And sometimes that comes in the form of things that we didn't plan. Lean into trusting yourself, trusting all that's good in the world that is meant to guide you on your path, and know that some of the most amazing possibilities come with inconvenience, come with lack of planning, and come with not having the proof of how things are going to turn out. And that requires faith on your part. It requires trust, and it requires that curiosity too. So I would encourage you to kind of lean into those energies as you move into the weeks ahead, because sometimes, the universe is trying to point us in a direction that is going to take us to a higher place, but, usually it's outside of what we're normally doing. So just be open to that, and I know amazing things are going to come into your life. If you like this post, please click like and hit subscribe to receive more updates from me. If you'd like information about how to work with me, check out the information below. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.